I don't hear my own footsteps. I only hear my pulse, loud and stupid, like it's trying to warn me that I'm already too late. I'm running and I don't even remember starting to. One moment I was breathing. The next I was sprinting down the sun-bleached boardwalk with sand clinging to my ankles and strangers staring like they can smell. The fear pouring off me. I keep telling myself not to look back, which of course makes me do it. He's there, a silhouette I know too well. Broad shoulders, expensive arrogance in the way he walks. Like the world exists solely to get out of his way. The sun hits off his watch, bright as a blade. My breath cracks in half. I whisper to myself, not again, not again. Please God, not again. But praying feels too soft for the way my life is falling apart in broad daylight. Nobody around me knows what it means that he found me. Nobody sees the invisible cage snapping shut. I slam into a corner of a building, hard, my shoulder barking with pain. But the pain grounds me. Lets me remember the rule I promised myself the day I ran away. Never stop moving. So I keep going. I don't even know where. Somewhere he can't touch me. Somewhere he doesn't own. My lungs burn. My hands shake. My voice dies in my throat. That's when I see the door. A bar. Busy. Loud. Music. Spilling into the sun like it doesn't care who's running for their life outside. I shove in, nearly tripping over some guy's boots. Everyone glances up for a heartbeat, then goes right back to their drinks. No one cares. Good, I don't want witnesses. I want, God, I don't know, time. I slide between tables, bending low, dragging air into my chest. My hands tremble so violently I tuck them under my arms just to hide it. I'm praying he didn't see me come in. I'm praying for anything. My mind is chaos. Flashes of his voice, his hand on my wrist. The promises he made that sounded like love until they sounded like chains. Him saying I owed him. Him saying he made me. Him saying I'd never leave alive. Those words live inside my ribs like broken glass. I duck behind the long polished bar, curl between crates, and try to make my breathing small. I press my palms to the cool floor, begging myself to stay quiet. And that's when I hear him, not the man chasing me. Another voice, low, steady, almost bored. You gonna tell me why you're hiding behind my bar? My head snaps up. I don't know how I didn't see him earlier. Because he's the kind of man the world rearranges itself around. He stands behind the counter, wiping a glass without actually looking at it. His shoulders fill the space like he owns the very air. He's not smiling. He's not frowning. He's watching me with this unnerving calm that makes me feel more exposed than running in the street ever did. I scramble to speak. My throat feels raw. I'm sorry. I'll leave in a second. I need breath, he finishes for me. Looks like you need breath. His voice is deep enough to settle something in me I didn't know was trembling. But none of that matters. I need to disappear. The door slams open so hard the bar shakes. My entire body freezes. I don't have to look. I know it's him. The man behind the bar lifts his eyes lazily toward the entrance. Like it's just another customer walking in asking for a beer. My pursuer steps inside, breathing sharp, frustrated. Where is she? His voice slices across the room. People look up this time. They feel it too. His anger, his entitlement. The violence sitting under his skin. I sink back down, hands over my mouth, heart crawling up my throat. Then I hear it. Chairs scraping, boots shifting, the whole bar sensing trouble. And the bartender doesn't move. Not an inch. The man hunting me stomps closer. You. His voice drops lower. Did a woman come in here? Small, wearing a... He describes me. Exactly. Every detail a knife. The bartender sets the glass down. Slowly. Too slowly. He finally lifts his gaze fully, cool, unbothered, like none of this even dents his mood. Why? He says, voice flat as steel warmed by the sun. You lose something? A few people snort into their drinks. Not nervous laughter. Respectful, like they know this guy behind the counter and also know the kind of man who should be afraid right now. My pursuer doesn't answer. He takes another step closer, and the bartender shifts one hand. Barely, but the room seems to hold its breath. My pulse hammers. I want to scream, don't provoke him. But I can't move. Can't breathe. Can't risk making a sound. Boss, one of the men at a nearby table says quietly, as if warning him. The bartender, boss, tilts his head, eyes still on the man hunting me. And even though he still hasn't looked my way, I know he knows exactly where I am. He's known the whole time. A tremor runs up my spine. My pursuer straightens, trying to look bigger. A woman ran through here. I know she came inside. I'm asking politely before I start tearing this place apart. Polite? The bartender almost smiles. It isn't nice. It's lethal. That what you call this? The hunter's jaw clenches. Where is she? The bartender wipes his hands on a towel, sets it down, and finally answers him in a tone so soft I almost miss the danger under it. You've got 5 seconds to get out. My stomach drops. No, he doesn't know what he's inviting. He doesn't know who that man is or what he's capable of. He doesn't... My hunter laughs. Wrong move. Do you know who I am? I don't care. The bartender's voice is all sunlight and threat. 5. The hunter reaches into his jacket. I can't stop the sound that escapes me, something between a gasp and a plea. The bartender hears it instantly. His eyes flick in my direction for the first time. Not afraid, not surprised. He looks like he's been waiting. 4, he says, turning back to my pursuer. The hunter pulls out a gun. I feel myself unravel. My body curls in on itself as if I can fold small enough to disappear. I whisper to no one. Please don't let him take me. Please. Please. And then something impossible happens. The bartender steps out from behind the bar, casual as sunlight on pavement, hands empty, expression bored. But his voice, God, his voice turns lethal calm. 3. The whole bar tenses. The hunter aims the gun straight at him, snarling, She belongs to... Try. The bartender says it like a promise. Like a dare. Like the world won't survive if this man takes one more step. The hunter hesitates, and in that breath of hesitation, I see everything. The tattoos curling up the bartender's arms, the heavy gold chain resting against his collarbone, the silver ring catching the light, the quiet authority, the stillness, the storm under the surface. He isn't a bartender. He's a boss, and I just fell into his world. The hunter's hand trembles slightly. You don't know what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing, the Mafia boss replies. 2. It's the first time I've ever seen the man chasing me unsure. I don't breathe. No one breathes. 1. The hunter hisses, She's mine. And that one word. I hate that word so much I taste blood. That's when the Mafia boss finally says something that hits me harder than the threat. Harder than the danger. Harder than the world collapsing around us. His eyes flick to mine. Direct. Deep. Unbroken. She doesn't look like she wants you, he says softly. My breath shatters in my lungs. Then everything explodes. I don't see who moves first. I don't see the gun. I don't see anything except the Mafia boss stepping forward like gravity, bends around him. Like he's been waiting for this. Like he isn't afraid of dying or killing or whatever comes after. The hunter stumbles back. The gun clatters. Someone shouts. And I'm frozen. Every memory, every bruise, every promise that I'd never escape slams into me. And then something cracks wide open in my chest. Because for the first time in a long time, someone is standing between me and the man who said I'd never get away. Act I ends here, not with safety, not with clarity, but with one single, terrifying truth. I think I trust him, and I don't even know his name. I don't remember standing. My body just rises on instinct, like it's trying to get closer to the one person in the room who isn't terrified. The Mafia boss moves, like he's made of something heavier than fear, like every step he takes is a decision, not a reflex. Someone kicks the gun away. Someone drags my hunter toward the door. Someone asks if the boss wants him handled, whatever that means. I'm barely listening. My ears are full of the blood roaring behind my heartbeat. The boss lifts a hand, one small gesture, and the whole bar quiets. His men drag the hunter out, but not far. I hear the scuffle on the sidewalk. I hear curses. I hear the sound of someone begging before the door. Swings shut again and cuts off. Everything except the ringing in my skull. And then it's just me. Me and him. He turns toward me. It feels like sunlight drops straight into my chest. Too bright. Too sudden. His eyes meet mine, and I swear the room shrinks around us. There's no chaos now. No shouting. No running. Just him watching me like he's measuring whether I'm going to shatter or combust. You hurt? He asks. I shake my head too fast. No, yes, I don't know. He steps closer. Not enough to touch me, just enough that I can smell the faint mix of citrus and smoke on his shirt. Which is it? I swallow hard. I'm not bleeding, if that's what you're asking. His gaze runs down me, slow, searching, careful. Not hungry, not invasive, just protective, like he's trying to memorize whether I'm all here. You don't look okay, he murmurs. I'm not. My voice cracks on the truth. Not even close. He nods once, as if he respects honesty more than composure. Then he gestures toward a side hallway. Come with me. It's louder out here. I hesitate, because following strange men into private spaces is a habit. I unlearned the hard way. He sees that hesitation. His expression softens by a millimeter. You're safe, he says. With me, you're safe. It shouldn't mean anything. Words mean nothing. Men mean nothing. Promises are just cages wearing perfume. But something in his tone, steady, patient, grounded, pulls me like gravity. I follow him. The hallway is quiet. Sun streaming through the high windows. No shadows, no dim corners. The light feels like a blessing I don't deserve. My knees wobble, but I keep moving until he stops in front of a door. He unlocks it and holds it open. I hover. He notices. You want space? He asks. I can step out. My chest tightens. No, just don't close the door. He nods slowly, like he's filing that away, understanding more about me than I said. The office is warm, bright, clean, a weird contrast to the chaos in my bones. He leans against the desk instead of sitting, arms crossed loosely. Not dominant, open, waiting. He lets me talk first, which is the strangest mercy I've felt in years. I didn't mean to drag you into this, I whisper. You don't even know me. Doesn't matter, he says. A scared woman ran into my bar. That's enough. Scared. The word sits in my chest like something I swallowed that still burns. You don't understand, I whisper. He isn't going to stop. The man you ran out, he doesn't give up. I noticed, he says dryly. That pulls a small, broken laugh from me. It feels wrong, but it also feels like air. He watches me closely. I need you to tell me what he wants. I look away, digging nails into my palms. I hate telling the story. I hate giving it shape, because shape makes it real again. He thinks he owns me, I say finally. The boss's jaw ticks. Just once. Why? Because I left him. The words feel too loud, even though I'm whispering. And he doesn't believe women leave him. He says running from him is the same as stealing from him. The boss straightens. Not much, just enough that I feel the shift. The stillness. The danger that swirls under his skin like heat under concrete. Did he hurt you? He asks softly. Too softly. Not in ways that show, I breathe. He likes to make pain feel like your fault. He likes slow damage. His eyes darken. Not with anger at me, but with something primal. Protective, restrained by force. What's your name? He asks. My throat tightens around the answer. Amara. He says it back to me, and the sound wraps around my spine like an anchor. I'm Luca. Luca. Of course his name feels like a conclusion I didn't know I was walking toward. Amara, he says again, slower this time. You're safe here. No one is safe from him, I whisper. He studies me like he's reading a confession I'm too afraid to write. Tell me why he won't quit, Luca says. Tell me what you know. I rub my arms, trying to warm a cold that isn't physical. I found something I wasn't supposed to. Something he hid. Something illegal. Like, I don't even know how illegal. But enough that he said if I ever talked, he'd bury me and anyone I told. Luca's jaw sets. What did you find? A list, I whisper. Names, transactions, numbers, his whole operation, basically. He kept it in this stupid, printed ledger like it was the 1990s. I wasn't trying to see it. I was just cleaning the apartment. And when he realized I'd seen too much, I touched my wrist unconsciously. He changed. Luca notices the gesture. His eyes shift to the thin line of bruising I didn't fully hide. I pull my sleeve down, too slow. He sees. He stops leaning against the desk. He stands fully, shoulders rolling back, expression sharpening all at once. The air tightens like the room adjusts for the weight of him. Sit, he says quietly. It's not a command. It's concern wearing the shape of authority. I sit on the edge of the couch because my legs won't hold me. Luca kneels. That shocks me more than anything. He kneels in front of me like he's grounding me. Like he's giving me the one thing no man has given me in a long time. Space to breathe without being sized up. He reaches slowly, slow enough that I can stop him, but I don't. He lifts my wrist, gentle as sunlight on skin. The bruise looks worse in this lighting. Purple, faded yellow, fingerprints embedded like memories that don't wash off. He closes his eyes for 1 second. One long, dangerous second. Amara, he murmurs. I'm going to fix this. I shake my head hard. No, you don't understand. Getting involved with me is a death sentence. He won't stop. I won't either, Luca says simply. My breath stutters. Why would you risk anything for a stranger? His gaze rises to mine, slow, certain. You're not a stranger anymore. My chest twists in a way that hurts. I want to argue. I want to shut down. I want to run again. Instead, the truth tumbles out of me without permission. I don't know who I'd be if someone actually protected me. Luca's voice drops lower. Maybe it's time you find out. Something inside me breaks open then, quietly, without sound, and I'm terrified of it. Because it feels like hope. The door outside slams. We both jolt. Luca stands instantly, between me and the door before my heart catches up. Footsteps thunder down the hallway. Raised voices. Someone yelling Luca's name. The air spikes with tension so sharp it cuts. Luca cracks the door open. What? One of his men shoves in a phone, face pale. Boss, you need to see this, now. Luca looks at the screen, and I watch the calm drain from his face. What is it? I whisper. He doesn't answer. Not immediately. His jaw clenches. His eyes flick to me, fast, assessing, protective, and furious at the same time. He turns the phone slightly so I can see. My blood goes cold. It's a video of me walking into the bar, running, crying, falling behind the counter. A voice narrates in the background, my hunter's voice. Find her, he snarls. Bring her to me. And the man protecting her? Break him. The video ends. My mouth goes dry. He's watching? He has people watching you? He has people watching everything, Luca says sharply. But he made a mistake. What mistake? My voice is barely there. Luca's eyes lock onto mine with a promise that feels like thunder. He declared war, he says. And he did it on my territory. My pulse stutters into fear, not of Luca, of the stakes. Luca, I whisper, this is my fault. No, he says instantly, stepping closer. This is on him. All of it. I shake, uncontrolled. He'll kill you. He'll kill everyone in this building just to get to me. Amara. Luca tilts my chin up gently, grounding me. Look at me. I do. And I wish I hadn't. Because the truth I see in his eyes terrifies me more than the danger outside. He cares. Actually, truly cares. He exhales once, like a decision is settling into his bones. I'm taking you somewhere safe. Somewhere he can't touch you. And if I say no, I challenge weakly. Luca smiles, not a light smile. A slow, dark, dangerous one. You already trusted me once. When you whispered those words, my throat constricts. Those were panic, not trust. Maybe. He leans in, voice a murmur against my pulse. But you said them to me. I inhale sharply. He straightens. Get up. We're leaving. I stand, wobbling. Before I can take a step, the building shakes. Something hits it hard from outside. We both freeze. Another slam, louder, then shouting. Luca curses under his breath. He's already here. My heart fractures into terror. He grabs my hand, warm, solid, grounding. Stay behind me. The hallway erupts with noise, men yelling, footsteps running, something heavy colliding with the wall. I can barely breathe. Luca pulls me close enough that my shoulder touches his back. Amara, he says, voice a razor-edged whisper. I'm going to get you out. And then, gunfire, inside the building. Too close, too fast. Someone screams. Luca shoves me behind the desk just as the door explodes inward. The last thing I hear is Luca saying my name like a vow. Amara, stay down. And then the world breaks open. When I wake up, the world is too still, too bright, too quiet. For a long second, I wonder if I'm dead. If the gunfire swallowed me whole. If the last thing I ever knew was Luca's voice telling me to stay down. But then pain blooms, mostly in my ribs, a sharp ache that reminds me I'm still here. Still breathing. Still stupidly alive. I blink until the ceiling stops spinning. It's high and white and sunlit. Nothing like the bar. Nothing like the hallway. Nothing like the chaos that took Luca out of my sight. My throat tightens. Luca? The word scrapes out like a wound. A soft voice answers, he's not here. I flinch. A woman sits in a chair near the foot of the bed. Mid-30s. Calm. Pretty. In that effortless way people in control tend to be. She's scrolling through her tablet like this is a regular Tuesday. Where am I? I whisper. A safe house, she says. One of Luca's. I'm Maria. Luca's. The words hit me first with relief, then with fear. He's okay? I ask, barely breathing. Maria hesitates. It's only half a second, but it's enough to send my heart into freefall. Is he alive? My voice cracks. Please, just tell me if he's alive. She sets her tablet down slowly, her face gentler now. Yes, he's alive. I exhale so hard my lungs shake. But, she adds, he's not here because it's safer if you're kept separate for the next couple of days. Separate? I choke out. Why? What happened? You passed out, she says. Adrenaline collapse. You weren't shot, just bruised and exhausted. But Luca, he stayed with you until it was secure. After that, he had to handle your pursuer directly. My whole body twists at the word had. Handle how? I ask. Maria's gaze sharpens. Not cruel, just cautious. Are you sure you want specifics? No, yes, no. I don't know. I close my eyes, pressing palms to my face. Just tell me if he's safe. She nods. He is. But he's dealing with fallout. Fallout. The kind of word that means everything changed and we don't say it out loud. I swallow hard. Can I see him? Maria stands and moves to the door. You need water, rest, and food before anything else. After that, if he approves, he'll come. Approves. Like I'm a situation, not a person. Maybe I am. Why is he staying away? I whisper. Maria pauses at the door, her hand resting on the frame. Because, Amara, the man you ran from didn't come alone. My blood turns to ice. Luca didn't want you hearing what happened next, she says softly. Not until you could stand without shaking. What happened? She hesitates again. Your hunter declared war, but he didn't understand whose world he was stepping into. I stare at the sunlight flooding the room. Too bright, too clean, too peaceful for the violence she's not describing. Rest, Maria says gently. I'll bring food. The door clicks closed behind her, and suddenly I'm alone with my thoughts. Loud, messy, terrified, hopeful. Luca's alive, but not here. Because of me. The next 2 days drag like a lifetime stitched with anxiety. I heal slowly. My ribs stop stabbing me every time I breathe. My bruises fade into softer colors. My hands stop shaking just enough that I can hold a mug without whitening my knuckles. But the worst part is the silence. No calls. No visits from Luca. No voice saying my name like it's a promise. I keep replaying the moment he covered me with his body. The moment he shoved me behind the desk. The way his last words curved through the noise. Amara, stay down. He said my name like a vow. But vows break. And men disappear. And fear has a way of rewriting everything sweet into something sharp. By the third evening, I'm pacing the safe house living room. Sunlight burning through the windows so bright it feels unreal. I place a trembling hand over my chest, trying to hold myself together. When the door finally opens, it's quiet. Too quiet. I freeze. Luca steps inside. And the world tilts. He looks different. Not hurt, not bloody. Just heavier. Like he walked through something. No one should have to, and came out quieter because of it. He shuts the door gently, like he doesn't want the sound to startle me. I stand there, rooted in place, my palms sweating. You're awake, he says. His voice isn't the same calm arrogance. It's rougher, lower, threaded with something I don't know how to name. You're alive, I whisper back. That makes something flicker in his eyes. He takes a slow step closer. I stay frozen. Not because I'm afraid, but because I don't trust my knees. I wasn't sure if you'd want to see me, he says. Why wouldn't I? He looks away, just slightly, like it cost him. I brought a war to your feet. No, I say instantly. No, you didn't. I brought it to yours. He shakes his head. You didn't bring anything. He crossed a line. My chest tightens. What did you do to him? Enough, he answers, voice firm. Enough that he won't touch you again. The answer is both mercy and violence. I swallow around a knot. And the people with him? Also handled. I don't ask how. He doesn't offer details. We both know some truths don't get spoken. Not if we want to sleep again. Not if we want peace. Not if we want to survive each other. He looks at me for a long moment. You okay? No, I say. But I'm breathing. He nods slowly. Good. Silence settles, thick with all the things we're not saying. I take a shaky step toward him. Why did you stay away? Luca's jaw works like he's wrestling with his own answer. Because you needed space to heal. And I didn't want you seeing me covered in someone else's choices. I blink hard. What does that even mean? It means, he says quietly, I wanted the first time you saw me again to be without blood on me. My breath stumbles. I whisper, Luca, you saved my life. He comes closer. Slow, cautious, careful in a way that breaks me open. I didn't save you, he murmurs. You walked into my world already fighting. I just chose a side. My throat burns. Why? He looks at me fully then, eyes warm and fierce and painfully honest. Because you were the first person to walk into my bar looking for breath instead of power. Because you didn't lie about being afraid. Because you said please and meant it. He steps close enough that the sunlight casts both of our shadows across the floor. And because, he adds, voice dropping, when you asked me not to let him take you, something in me answered before I could think. My knees almost buckle. Luca. His breath shudders. I don't want to scare you, Amara, not after what you escaped. You don't scare me, I whisper. He closes his eyes like he's trying to believe that, and then, very quietly, he admits, I haven't stopped thinking about you. My heart stumbles into something dangerous, something alive, something real. I take the last step between us, so we're close enough to feel the heat off each other's skin. I kept waiting for you to come, I confess. Because when I opened my eyes, I didn't want it to be a world without you in it. Luca inhales sharply, like the words hit him somewhere vulnerable. We stand there, held together by gravity and pain, and something that feels like rebuilding. You deserve peace, he murmurs. Not a man like me. Maybe, I whisper, but peace isn't who I came looking for. His eyes burn into mine. You sure? I'm sure. Silence, warm this time, not sharp. He lifts a hand, slow, giving me time to say no. I don't. His fingers brush my cheek, barely a touch, but the gentleness steals my breath. No one has ever touched me like I'm something that shouldn't be broken. His forehead leans against mine. Then stay. My breath trembles out. For how long? For as long as you want, he whispers. I close my eyes, feeling something. Inside me, something quiet and tired and hopeful, finally exhale. I want to stay, I say, but I want to rebuild. Not hide, not run, not be rescued. I want to stand on my own feet again. He nods, forehead still resting against mine. I'll stand back while you do. And you'll stay close? I ask. He brushes a thumb over my cheek. Always. My chest warms in a way I've never felt before. Like maybe this isn't the end of the story, just the beginning of a different kind of life. Luca steps back only enough to see my face fully. You're safe here. With me, without him, because you chose it. I breathe. And you? He smiles softly, real, rare, devastating. I choose you. The sunlight spills over both of us, warm and steady. And for the first time in forever, the brightness doesn't feel violent. It feels like a future, like healing, like love that didn't rescue me, love that met me, love that waits and breathes and rebuilds. I let out a slow, shaky exhale. And in a voice meant only for the listener I never expected to have, I confess. This is the part of the story I swore I'd never tell. The part where I finally became someone worth saving. If you felt every heartbeat of this story, if her fear, her healing, and their impossible pull kept you listening, don't leave just yet. There are more stories like this. Raw, emotional, whispered from the edge of survival and the beginning of love. Subscribe, follow, and stay with me. Let's keep unraveling these dangerous hearts together. And if you want the next story, just say the word